Shadow Falls book review. So today we're going to be discussing Awake at Dawn, which I have the first and second book in one book. I showed you guys that in the first video, but I will be putting a picture up of the cover of the second book right now. So yeah, in Awake at Dawn, we deal with a new ghostie that says Kylie needs to save someone. Kylie and Derek kind of get together, then kind of break up, which pushes her more into the direction of Lucas Parker, which I absolutely love. Werewolves all the way. But so yeah, at least we know Lucas does come back. He comes back. Kylie and her mom grow very much closer. In fact, she's actually going home for a whole weekend, parents' weekend, where she has to try to convince her mother to let her go to the Shadow Falls boarding school, but her mom doesn't really want to let her go because they have this newfound understanding of their relationship. It's a lot to take in. Kylie gets a friend of Derek's, a private investigator, to help her find her father's adoptive parents, the Brightons. It's a pretty cool surname, because her dad was the ghost in the very first book, Soldier Dude. But it's a bit difficult because she can't really get any of the information from her mom, because her mother isn't really convinced that she should meet these people, because she feels that they will hate her because she never contacted them to tell them, listen, you guys have a granddaughter, yada yada. Bernard is still there. He's still super in love with Holiday. Holiday still doesn't want anything to do with him. Frederica is still a major bitch in this book. I know she probably... Okay, she has her reasons, and we'll find a little bit more out about that in the series later on. Actually, Frederica really helps Kylie out here and there. Della still won't admit that she likes a certain shapeshifter. Steve Miranda is going to be entering a witch competition, because remember, she's supposed to be the Coven's next high priestess, but she doesn't think she'll be able to do it because she has dyslexia, which I think is just, so what? Who gives a shit? My husband has dyslexia. When we met, he wouldn't read books because someone, I'm not going to be mentioning names, told him that he will never be able to read because of being dyslexic. But then, hey, he made me. By the way, that's also my husband that did my hair, and I hope you guys like it. It took forever. I had to do the bleaching and then the coloring, and it was just... If I do sound a little bit weird, I had a cold which turned into gland fever. I'm diabetic, I get sick really easily, and I get gland fever at least once a year. If you don't know what that is, just go Google it. Because I don't really want to give away as many spoilers as I did with the House of Night series, I'm considering maybe doing 2 books in a video for the Shadow Falls series, but we'll see how far this video goes before I decide to do that. I hate being sick. If I don't have makeup on, you guys will be afraid of me. So, if you guys read the first book, you would have met Sarah, Kylie's best friend. Now, Sarah has apparently been changing. She had a pregnancy scare in the first book, and she's still sleeping around with guys, just screwing up her entire life, which is really concerning Kylie, but Kylie is like, I'm not going to deal with this now. She starts getting texts and missed calls from her ex-boyfriend, Trey, who broke up with her because she wouldn't have sex with him. Guys suck. Guys suck. Oh my goodness. But Trey and Sarah played a huge part in the second book. They actually end up together. Which I really thought that's kind of like a thing. You don't date your best friend's ex-boyfriend. But maybe that's just me. It's like my moral codes. But at the near the end of this book, we discover that the ghost that Kylie is dealing with is actually Sarah's grandmother, who died when she was still very, very small of cancer. Now, I'm not going to say what cancer it was or what's wrong with Sarah, because you guys need to read the books in order to understand the feels of the second book. On her way back home, because this happened during Parents' Weekend, she went to see Sarah. We had a really awkward encounter with her dad where he just showed up at her mom's house being all, hey, let's all go to lunch. Kylie would like it if we all went to lunch. Didn't you tell your mom I broke up with the skank? Don't do that. That's putting Kylie in a really awkward situation that she just doesn't want to be in. So she goes to Sarah's house. She discovers some new talents by helping Sarah out with something. But this also makes Sarah suspect that there's something different about Kylie. On her way home, okay, we're going to need a recap for this part. In the first book, when they went to talk to the animals at the wildlife park to find out what was going on, who was basically eating the animals, they were attacked by the Blood Brothers gang. And Kylie was singled out by a specific vampire with red hair, so she just named him Red. In the second book, Kylie, she grows. Her hair gets longer, her boobs get bigger, her feet gets bigger. She gets a bit taller, so they have to go buy some new clothing. So she goes shopping with Della and Miranda, and while in the town of Fallen, two girls approach them. They're like, oh, you go to the boner camp, because the camp is a site for fossils, so bones, dinosaur fossils. So they call some of the campers boners, which I think is totally judgmental. Try not to be so judgmental. People suck ass. So Kylie politely tells the bees with itches to just go away, because otherwise Bella's going to kick their asses. Oh, I love Bella. Then, while Kylie is trying on some bras, she feels a presence and Red is behind her, and he's like, I like the red one best. I would feel so violated. Freaking perv, kono hentai, much? But later, he plays another big role because he killed the two girls that were, how do I say this, being asswipes to Kylie, Della, and Miranda. But he plays an even bigger role when, as I said, Kylie's heading home after seeing Sarah, and something flies into her windshield. And that something is Red, the asshole. So he kidnaps Kylie, takes her somewhere. She meets his lovely grandfather, Mario, who is going to be a pain in our asses for the next 3 books. Yeah, he's the main bad guy. It's not Red. It's his grandfather. And he's like, no, you will marry my grandson, yada, yada, yada. Now, I'm not going to tell you guys what Kylie is yet, but she is what Mario is. She isn't a vampire. She isn't a werewolf. She isn't a fairy. She isn't a shapeshifter. She's something else. She's a species that no one really knows about, which we discover about a little bit more in the next book again, which is going to be amazing. Yeah, that doesn't work out well. She basically tells Mario, listen, I'm not marrying your grandson, he creeps me out, he's an asshole, he's a bad person, he's evil. Just like you are, by the way. The only way she can get out is she dreamscapes. So that's where she actually travels in her dreams to another sleeping person's dream, and she can communicate with them. So she travels to Lucas's dream, and she's like, I've been kidnapped, please help me. And she has to kind of like fly back to her body in slow motion so that she can tell him where she is. But just as she's about to tell him, Mario wakes her up because he felt the energy, the power coming from her, and she was just like, no, I was just asleep, I was dreaming. Nothing happened. He leaves her be for a little while longer after saying that his friends want to meet her. I'm assuming this is other rare supernaturals that are also douchebags. And then she falls asleep again. She wakes up later because she hears Lucas and Red fighting in the cell next to hers, and this is where we find out a little bit more about what Kylie is, because even though she still kind of suspects that she's human, she breaks through a freaking stone wall to get to Lucas and help him. He accidentally hits her, but as I said, accidentally. He was fighting with Red. They get tied up for a while, and she helps him because he got hurt. Okay, she heals him. She healed Sarah of something as well. That's one of the gifts that she discovered, and luckily, just as Mario and Red show up again, Burnett comes in with the FRU, the Foreign Research Unit, and they save Kylie and Lucas's ass, since ass is plural. So Burnett takes Kylie to be checked out by a veterinarian. He's human, but he knows about supernaturals, and I think that's probably why he took her to him. Then he takes her back to her mom's house, and she has to go back to Shadow Falls the next day, finally convincing her mother that she belongs at Shadow Falls boarding school, and her mother finally caves. But here's where things get interesting. Just as she's about to go to her cabin and talk to her friends about everything that happened, Holiday says her grandparents, which they have tracked down, have come over to meet her. The book ends with Kylie talking a little bit about the new ghost following her, a woman in a hospital garb with a shaved head and blood wounds all over her white dress, and Kylie being extremely nervous to meet the Brightons, which I would be as well. I didn't grow up knowing my dad. I met him 2-3 years ago for the first time in person, and I can tell you it's nerve-wracking. You're like, what if he doesn't like me? What if I'm not what he was expecting? And we have a really good relationship now, so I get why she was so nervous. But guys, that's how that book ends. We will be discussing Taken at Dusk next week, where we learn a little bit more about these grandparents. Are they the real Brightons? Are they pretending to be the Brightons? Do we finally figure out what Kylie is? Does she and Lucas take the next step in their relationship? I don't know. You'll have to wait and see. But thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to stake that like button. Hit the bell notification with the silver bullet. Please subscribe, and I will see you guys next time. Bye.